Hello, Standard 7. We are going to start with the monasteries and nunneries. Okay, so here the medieval Europe. Now, so far you studied that the condition of the church became, condition of the Christians became very good. Okay, and there was a spread of Christianity after uh, Constantine. He accepted the Christianity. Then you also studied about the fall of Constantinople in the hands of the Turks in 1453 AD. Now, in today's class, I'll be explaining to you about monasteries and nunneries. Okay, so in medieval period, priests started living in lonely places. Okay, instead of living among the people, they started living in a lonely places. Okay, and means living amongst instead of living amongst the people in a crowded places like towns and cities, they started living in a lonely places. And these priests, they were known as monks, and the place where they lived and worshipped were known as monasteries. So you understood here? Monasteries was a place where the Christian monks lived. Then, what is from where the word monk is derived from? The word monk is derived from Greek word which means alone. And what type of life these monks were living? They led a very simple life, devoting their time in worship and prayers. They also started providing service to the people by helping the poor, sick, and needy. This is the way the monks started living. The same way we had the women who also did the same were known as nuns, means they also lived alone, far places. They also lived a very simple life. They also spent their time devoting their time in worship and prayer, started providing service to the poor people, sick people, needy people. So they were known as nuns and they started living in separate monasteries called nunneries or convents. Okay, so you have to understand what is monasteries and what is nunneries and who were living in these monasteries and nunneries and what was their duty. Okay, their duty was to devote their time in worship and prayer, give service to the people by helping the poor people, sick people, needy people. Then you have to remember that a monastery was presided over by an abbot. So it was also known as abbey. Okay. Now the next topic which you have importance of monasteries. What was the importance of monasteries? It was a center of production. It was art and culture developed. Monasteries serve as a sanctuaries. Now I'll explain you what is the meaning of center of production. Monasteries rendered various service to the people. It gave various service to the people. Okay, many monks did manual labor on farms. Means they were giving their service. They work as manual labor on farm. They grew crops, reclaimed land and conserved forest. Some of them work as a skilled craftsman, shoemaker, millers, beekeepers, etc. So this they give their service to the people by doing this work. The same manner art and culture also they advanced. So the greatest contribution of the monasteries was in the field of education and art. Okay, now at that time books were not published. See here in some monasteries they developed as a famous universities in 12th and 13th century. And the subjects which were taught were religion, history, philosophy, medicine, law, and astrology. And that time books were written by hand. Okay. And these books were written on a specially prepared animal skin, which was called parchment. Okay, and they also copied Latin and Greek books in a different subject and recorded events of day. Today, it is a great source of this source of medieval history for the historians. Next, you have monasteries as a sanctuaries. So these monasteries they provided rehabilitation even after the invaders left the place. Means here many invasions took place. Whenever there was invasion in Roman Empire by the barbarian German tribes, Scandinavians, they invaded. Okay, so they destroyed the houses in the village, towns, cities. So here many people though whose houses were destroyed in the invasion, they have taken shelter, okay, in these monasteries. So it provided rehabilitation even after the invaders left the place. Then people took refuge in monasteries during the time of calamities like plague and famine. Okay, so this was a place where the people in their bad time used to live. They used to take a refuge. Next, we have invasion of Turks. Now, as you know, the Turks captured the capital of Byzantine Empire, that is Constantinople, in 1453 AD. And the name of Constantinople was changed to Istanbul, and this was the end of Roman Empire and the beginning of Ottoman Empire. Okay, and this Ottoman dynasty, how this name got Ottoman Empire? The Ottoman dynasty is named after the first ruler of Ottoman polity, Osman I, who descended from a Turkish tribe. The next topic is crusade, war between religions. So, what was crusade? Crusade were holy wars fought between Christians and Muslims at the end of 11th century. And these wars continued for more than 200 years and were referred to as war between cross and crescent, or it was the war between Christians and Muslims. So, what was crusade? Crusade was a holy war which was fought between the Christians and the Muslims at the end of 11th century. So much only you have to remember in crusade. Last topic, today's last topic, and we are going to end the chapter also. What was the effect of crusade? Weakening of feudalism. Feudalism became weak. Okay, it's weakening of feudalism. The next we have development of trade. Trade developed. Okay, prolonged Eastern Roman Empire means here due to crusade, capital of Eastern Empire Constantinople did not fall into the hands of Turk till 1453. So what happened? It prolonged Eastern Roman Empire. Interest in sea voyage. During the time of crusade, it encouraged the spirit of adventure among the Europeans. So they started taking interest in sea voyage. Okay, so due to this only you see Columbus, Vasco da Gama, they also for a sea voyage. And the last we see European and Muslim scholars means they came in contact with each other. The European, as a result of crusade, the European and Muslim scholars came in contact with each other, and this enriched their knowledge in mathematics and science. Understood here? So this is the effect of crusade. Feudalism became weak. There was a development of trade. Prolonged Eastern Empire, Roman Empire. Sea voyage was encouraged. Then Eastern and Muslim scholars, they came in contact with each other, and this enriched their knowledge in mathematics and science. So we completed today the chapter. Thank you very much.